Hey, American contractors, viewers of the American Contractor Show. I'm here with John Dye at Win the Storm, and I have to tell you, anyone that is associated with American Contractor Show, you are a badass.
Big shout out to American Contractor Show. If you don't know, you definitely need to check out the Storm Summit. They're doing it in excellence. Check them out.
Hey, what's up? This is your friend, Francisco Serrano. If you haven't checked out American Contractor Show, YouTube channel, Facebook channel, Twitter, Instagram, all the platforms, you need to go them, like them, start learning about your craft.
Hey, I'm Matt Danskin with Restoration Referral System. Check out the American Contractor Show. The truck that they've got is awesome. Everything else that they have going on.
This is Larry Bache with the Merlin Law Group, helping policyholders for more than 30 years. If you have a claim or your client has a claim that needs help, please feel free to call the Merlin Law Group because we are the true policyholder advocate.
C3 was eager to help us, and even whenever we weren't giving them work, they were still eager to give advice. The things that they were putting out for the for changing from DMO to RFG and giving that to the industry and not charging anything for it, I thought was really cool. And that's stuff that I as a contractor appreciate. I'd recommend C3 to any contractor that's looking for a PA, especially if you're around Colorado. Great guys, man. I'm nothing but happy with the work they've done for us.
What's up, everybody? I'm meteorologist Andrea Myers, here to bring you guys your daily hail forecast, sponsored as always by C3 Group, Merlin Law Group, and American Contractor. You guys saw their ads a second ago, so you can go ahead and check them out in the description to this video. Now for weather, we've got all risks possible today through the Midwest, specifically Wisconsin. We've got tornadoes, hail, and wind all possible for you guys. So we're going to look at the where and when of that. And then into tomorrow, things should continue to quiet down a little bit. We're moving back into the North Plains and probably mostly going to be hail into tomorrow afternoon into the evening hours. And then last but not least, we're checking in on the tropics once again. We've got the remnants of Henry moving off the western Atlantic right now, but we have 3 more tropical disturbances on the horizon. So could those become our next named storms over the next few days? We're going to take a look. But first, before we get into our weather, into our upcoming events. So this is the Thunder Road Race for Recovery, if you guys are new to us. This is an event being hosted by Hail Trace. 100% of the proceeds from this are going to an awesome charity, Roofers in Recovery. So you guys can sign up to race and sponsor this event. It is going to be at the Oklahoma Motorsports Complex in Norman on September 15th. Tons of fun racing super fast go-karts, so if you guys want to be a part of that, go ahead and check that out in the Linktree link as well provided in this video. Then into yesterday's weather. So not a ton, pretty quiet day yesterday. Mostly we had some activity through the northern plains as well as the Midwest here. Had a scattering of wind reports as well as hail through the Dakotas, the very north end of Nebraska, all the way into Minnesota and Wisconsin. We did get a little bit of severe activity out of that. However, again, mostly a quiet day yesterday. Today could pick up a little bit in terms of wind and scattered hail as well. You guys know the drill. Once we get west of the Rockies, we're clear and dry, but once we get out east, it's a little bit of a different story, specifically in Minnesota and Wisconsin. So we've had this band of storms that's been moving out of the Dakotas and through that area through this morning into early this afternoon. So we've got that continuing to move through Wisconsin out to the southeast, and that's going to continue to roll through the early afternoon hours before it kind of dissipates. Then behind all this, we're wanting to get that clearing, and that clearing helps us get that daytime heating for those severe storms later on this afternoon. So once these move out of the way, we're going to have a second round of storms that pushes its way through, and the intensity of that is going to ride a lot on how quickly this clears out. Then again, for the rest of us, mostly clear and dry through the rest of the nation. Now I want to show you guys again our current temperatures. This is specifically for the Ohio Valley and the Midwest. So we're sitting in the 90s and humid once you get down into Louisville, Indianapolis, up into Chicago, sitting just shy of 90. But then we get that cold front, sitting with that band of storms that's pushing through. So that is creating an outflow boundary, which creates a sort of cold front as we push through Wisconsin and Minnesota. And with that, we could have some more storm development later on this afternoon. So we'll have that cold front that forces storms, as well as additional daytime heating that we're depending on to get that severe activity later this afternoon. Then as far as instability and how that plays into that. So it's going to be fairly unstable through the region. You guys know the drill: hot, muggy, unstable. However, we need that forcing for those storms to develop, and that's what we have with that outflow boundary. So along that, we're going to have those high values of instability. This is convective available potential energy, and that is what our storms need in order to fire this afternoon. So those moderate to high values through the southern part of Minnesota into the central part of Wisconsin, where our risk area is going to be into today. That's by 7 p.m. though, guys, and that is going to start to dissipate as the sun goes down. You guys know we lose that daytime heating and all that energy that we need. So we're going to need those storms to form in time around 7 p.m. when that CAPE is high in order to get those high hail chances. So then if we look into our significant hail model, this is going to show us what the potential is for hail size through that area. Not necessarily a forecast, but it just shows us what's available through our risk area into today. So right now, we're in the small to moderate values right now at noon as that first system continues to move out of the way. But then as the afternoon and evening rolls on, once we get towards 7 p.m. with that high energy availability through the area, we start to see a small little region of moderate values. So not looking like we'll get a ton of huge hail, not any of that pink for our significant hail model into today, but it is still possible that we could get quarters to half dollars, as well as some possible larger stones through that area into this afternoon and evening with that energy that is available. Then, as the evening goes on, you guys know that weakens along with that daytime heating going away. Then for our future radar, so this is that first band of storms that we're seeing moving through. That's going to continue to push off to the southeast into this afternoon and evening. Then it's going to be pretty quiet for a while. This is 7:30, guys. When we see that energy all available, all of that high CAPE values, nothing really happening quite yet. And then as we move off into the afternoon and evening hours, this is 1:30 in the morning. We start to see this little band forming just to the northwest of Green Bay. So we have lost a lot of that energy, and we do get this bowing structure, and with that comes a lot of wind possible. So as that moves off to the southeast, we could see a scattering of hail through this area where that's forming, as well as a couple of isolated storms that formed just before that. But then it's mostly going to quickly transition into a wind threat as that moves off to the east through Michigan. So here's what we have for our hail forecast for you guys. So quarters to half dollars anywhere possible through Minnesota, all the way from the eastern part of Nebraska into the far western part of Michigan. As we get all of that instability with any isolated storms that pop through there, we could get some quarters to half dollars. But then once we get into the Green Bay area and into the northeastern part of Wisconsin, still not likely to see ping pong to golf balls. You got a moderate chance for hail though. More likely to see quarters to half dollars through that area, and with any storms that stay singular and get going while we have a lot of energy available, we could get some ping pong to golf ball sized hail. So if you guys are in Green Bay, you're going to want to keep watch for gusty winds as well as hail possible into tonight, as well as Minneapolis and Sioux Falls. You guys are not out of the woods for quarters to half dollars. Then for our wind forecast, it's going to be kind of the same risk area through all the way from eastern Nebraska into western Michigan here. Now, if we zoom on into our city-specific forecast, if you guys are in Grand Rapids, you're on the low end because things do start to dissipate once they reach you. But where that bowing structure is, again, in northwestern Wisconsin, that's where we could see some tornadic activity as well as gusty winds moving into Green Bay. So you're in a moderate. Minneapolis and Sioux Falls, we're just kind of depending on some isolated storms moving through your area in order to get gusty winds with that. So you guys are in the low end chance for severe wind into tonight. Then for tomorrow, it's going to again be kind of a quiet and scattered day. So we're looking at the northern plains for our risk chances into tomorrow. This is tomorrow morning, and then it's going to be a really quiet day all the way from afternoon into the evening hours, just some loud rain moving through the eastern part of South Dakota. And then once we get into 3:30 in the morning, guys, so this is going to be a late risk. We have these storms starting to form through North Dakota, some singular storms that could produce some hail through there. And then that quickly blows up through the Bismarck area into some very loud thunderstorms, possible gusty winds, as well as some hail possible with a couple of these storms that stay a little bit more isolated. So very late risk into tomorrow, as well as very scattered. So that's what we have for our future radar. And if we look at that on our hail forecast, no surprise there, all the way from the southern part of North Dakota into the northern part of Nebraska, we've got $1/4 to $1/2 sized hail possible for you guys. So if you guys are in Aberdeen or Rapid City, $1/4 to $1/2, low end chance for you. Bismarck, where those storms kind of blow up, still in a low end chance because it's so late at night and they do start to band up pretty quickly. It's probably mostly going to be wind and sub-severe hail. However, you guys are probably the likeliest of these 3 cities to get $1/4 to $1/2 into tomorrow night. So that's it for the next 2 days. We're kind of starting to move into that quiet season, but hurricanes are quickly picking up. This is the tropics right now. You can see those 2 X's behind me. But right now we're sitting and looking at this one just forming off of the east coast of Africa, or the west coast of Africa right now. This just formed last night. We got a 20% chance of it to develop in the next 2 days, and then in the next 5 days, a 30% chance. So not looking very likely right now as it moves over those cool Atlantic waters in the eastern part of the ocean, and we do get a lot of wind shear through that area. So not super conducive for tropical development over the next 5 days. However, once it moves off into the western Atlantic, that's when we could start to see some development for the system, so we're going to keep an eye on that. Then moving off into the Caribbean, we have a second disturbance, not expected to do anything in the next few days as it continues moving over the northern part of South America, but once it gets off into the Caribbean, over those nice warm waters, low wind shear, and starts making its way into the Gulf, then it has a 60% chance of formation over the next 5 days. So this is starting to move a little bit into our neck of the woods, still staying out of the US borders now. However, again, we're going to want to watch this in case it takes a turn or starts to develop a little bit more aggressively than forecast. We're definitely going to be keeping an eye on this one for you guys in the Gulf of Mexico states. Then last but not least, this guy is probably not going to hit anyone. It's looking like it's going to be not much in the next 2 days, 20% chance of formation. Then it'll move again into some warmer Atlantic waters with lower wind shear, just what tropical storms need to develop. So we've got a 60% chance in the next 5 days. However, it is looking like it's going to take a turn and stay mostly in the middle of the Atlantic, but could be one of our next named storms. So again, something to keep an eye on. And that's what we have for you guys for our severe hail and wind chances. Not a ton for the next couple of days. However, there is still, again, all risks possible today, although it will be scattered. So we definitely want to keep our eye on that, as well as the tropics. If you guys want to make sure that you never miss any of your live forecast updates, you can follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Hit See First on Facebook so you never miss a live video. And if you guys want to get in contact with us with any questions or comments, you can call us at 855-334-4245. You can also email us if you would rather at info@hailtrace.com, or check out our awesome website, hailtrace.com, for more details. And we will, as always, keep you guys advised. But for now, I'm meteorologist Andrea Myers. Thanks for watching.